Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees. I'm here in Mango Land and I am just getting excited about mango season 2024. And today I have one of my favorite guests on the show. I am going to LIzard Avocado Farm. This is one of the hats you always see me in and one of the shirts you often see me in. It's an amazing avocado farm, but they don't just have avocados. We're going to meet Tom, the owner of the place, and he is growing a whole bunch of things other than avocados. Today we're going to look at some of the other things. We're going to look at his personal mango collection, and he's upped it from last year to this year. Amazing. So I had to get back there and film again his amazing avocado farm, but in this video I wanted to show you the amazing upgrade he did to his personal collection area of his mangoes. It's really amazing, and I'm going to do another video with him coming up here soon about his upgrade on his avocado farm, because he's done great things to that too. That's coming in a future video. Here's today's video. Tom at LIzard Avocado Farm with the upgrade to his personal mango area this year. The link is below. Please go to his website. He has an amazing YouTube channel with great videos. I'm going to put that link below as well. Now, here's Tom.
And one of the things I did last year, Paul, was actually inspired by you, which was I put in a specialty mango area for us to eat, not for my commercial side of the business, but this is just for our own collection. And the reason, what inspired me to do that was you had the Father's Day tasting, you and Alex, at Tropical Acres. And I and my wife got a chance to try, what, 40 different mangoes?
Yeah. And
it really, really got me into mango pretty heavy. And I think you're doing it again this year, right?
Yeah, we're going to have a big one, and you're going to be there.
I'm going to be there.
Father's Day.
So Father's Day at Tropical Acres mango testing.
Yep.
Mango tasting. Yep. I'm going to be there. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I got exposed to a lot of different tastes, flavors of mangoes, and I started kind of exploring, trying some other ones out, and I made a decision to clear this area. So the last time you were here, Paul, this was all grown in. This was all canopy. In between those two oaks was a...
I remember.
Yeah, I think it's called a holly tree. It was nasty, and it came way out. And then on this side, I had some nasty trees, and I also had two big mangoes, but they were seedling mangoes. They were like 25, 30 years old. In the 13 seasons I've been here, one of them only gave me fruit twice. One of them gave me fruit like 4 times. They just wouldn't fruit. The one gave pretty good tasting fruit, but I said, you know what? Let me knock down that holly. Let me clear this area out, and let me do some specialty mangoes. And you could almost call this like a ZIL. Thank you, Paul.
I love it. No,
yeah.
This is wonderful.
And you could almost call this like a ZIL section. And so the first one here, the northernmost, anchoring it, is a Gary. So named after Gary Zill. And you know how nice the leaves smell, right?
Yes.
They've got that
tree that I want to get.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, these leaves, this Gary Zill variety, this Gary variety mango, it tastes like, or it smells like if you scratch the skin of an orange. It is just so, it's almost hard to stop smelling it, you know? And so I had heard about this variety. I tried it last year at Lara Farms. Julian had one. He let me try it, and I bought one. And it's known to be a shy producer. And this is its first, spring season, and I did get a lot of flowers, and it looks like there's one fruit. I don't know if it's going to make it to maturity, and since this tree is for our own private collection, and it is pretty big and pretty thick, I'm going to let the one fruit grow. And the reason I say that is a lot of times, especially for like the more commercial side of growing, in the first few years of a tree, we cut the fruit off because we would rather the tree grow large than grow fruit. But since this is our specialty area, I want to eat the one Gary. Sure. So I hope it stays. So that was the Gary. The next one in the collection, Paul, was actually inspired by you. Because we spent a day at that Father's Day mango tasting event, eating mangoes all day. And what was the first thing we did after the event? Do you remember? We went to your house and ate more mangoes.
Yes.
And one of the ones I tried was lemon meringue. I think at the time you had 2 lemon meringue trees.
Yes.
Maybe did you get rid of one?
Ones. No, I got them.
You still have the 2.
Oh yeah.
So you gave me my first taste of lemon meringue, which is also known as PPK, right? And that's this guy right here. So I put in a little lemon meringue, and that was inspired by you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah, not a lot to say about this guy. He's little. He didn't flower this year.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, he was about, as you can see, the new growth. So I put him in about that big. It's been a few months. He's just starting to flush and grow now.
Beautiful.
Why don't we go clockwise?
Okay, can I ask you just behind us here? You have these bananas.
Course. Yeah.
So what's going on with the bananas? Is this one variety, more than one variety?
There's multiple varieties. These were all here when I moved in. Best I could tell are the apple bananas, the Manzano variety, or Manzano variety. You know, they're the little teeny ones. And so these were here. These got severely damaged in Hurricane Irma in 2017, and they were like my lowest priority. There was just tons of trees down in this area. They sat till about 2019, till I could finally get back here and open this area all up. And since then, I've been, you know, paying attention to them, taking care of them, and they're going good. And what I do with my bananas, I've got, you know, this banana patch here. I have one there, I have one there, I have one down there, I got one up out there in the west. I kind of rotate how I fertilize them, because I learned if I fertilize everything on the same day, about 11, 12 months later, I get more banana than I can eat. But if I rotate them, I stagger the banana production. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so, you know, you see I have a bunch there rather than, you know, and then only one bunch over there. I got one bunch going down there, and they're each, you know, they'll kind of stagger.
You have a bunch of rack on there now?
Yeah, up here somewhere, there's a little rack. And I don't even think these are the Manzano. I think these are them little finger bananas or whatever.
They look smaller than.
They're tiny.
Yeah.
And they're fruity.
Yeah.
They're fruity.
Super tiny.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Right. Thanks for showing us the bananas there. Good idea. All right, did you leave this tree here?
Yes. So
you cut it back tremendously.
Yes. So continuing in a counterclockwise, or continuing clockwise. So Gary, lemon meringue. You see, I put in a little pineapple patch. I love pineapples because they're fire and forget. You stick them in the ground or stick them in a pot and just wait. You know, you don't have to do nothing with them. Yes, this is a Ford variety mango, and you won't find this a lot. It's not a common mango because we harvest it in September, and no commercial operation wants to have mangoes on their tree till September. If you could pick late May, June, early July, make your money then, get everything off the tree. No one wants to do a grove of Ford, but I love the Ford because for me it extends my season, and you know all about that too. You're always extending how long you have fruit. So the Ford mango I can pick well into September, and this is the one that gives me them 5-pounders. They're giant. And they've got that classic mango flavor, the Florida mango flavor. And yes, so in addition to clearing out the junk trees, I gave this guy a major haircut, because you can see he too was knocked down in Hurricane Irma. And this was the, you know, I don't need this prop anymore, but this is what we propped it up with. We kind of stumped it right about at this height and stood it back up. But all the weeds and the junk trees grew faster than this guy grew back. And it caused him to kind of be restricted. Now that I've cleared everything, this is going to be like the primary canopy tree. And then you'll see here, Paul, I also did my neighbor's Palmer mango. So I got new neighbors, and this is the first time this tree's been pruned since I'm living here. And so he asked me if I would prune it for him. And so what I did was I left 2 branches and I just took everything way down. And you can see he's already getting great new growth.
Yeah.
So a trick I learned from you, Paul, on one of your videos was to, when you're topping a tree, don't make the cut at the same junction every year. Do you remember that video you made? That was something I learned from you. And so what I did was I explained to my neighbor Alex here, I said, I'm going to find the junction of where the last few cuts were, and I'm going to go about a foot down, which is what I did. But we took a lot off this tree. But to make sure it was going to survive, I left that big branch over there. I left another big branch over there. And then once these branches start to come out, I'll get rid of those, and we'll train this guy to that nice bushy round shape that we want. Okay, now on with the specialties. So here's the next one. This is called a Hindi Basanari. You may know more about that one than I do, but I hear great things about it.
Excellent.
Yeah. And so I wanted this guy. And then...
Where'd you get that from?
I got this from Julian at Lara Farms.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this guy here is the lemon zest.
Excellent.
Which is the child, the offspring of the lemon meringue.
Yes.
Right? And that I think I did try somewhere else, but I know I like that one.
Now, how far did you plant those to?
I don't know the exact measurement. They're probably about 12 feet. And these I'm going to keep small because I have the star fruit tree. I have the Juda Caba behind you. This is just for variety, you know what I mean? And then this guy here I am going to let grow. This is a wise, and these are known to be vigorous growers. And so I'm going to have, you know, this one kind of the big one over on this side. And then I'll have the Ford over there as like anchor trees, big trees. And then I'm going to let these little ones grow. And then, you know, you can't talk about little trees without talking about the Julie. You've tried the Julie.
Oh, yes.
Do you like the Julie?
It's okay.
I love the Julie. And not only do I love the Julie, but I almost have to have at least one because I have a lot of Jamaican customers, and to a person, they love the Julie mango. And in fact, do you know Doug? He comments on your DAMT car, Doug. He comments on your videos a lot. He brought me some Julies. I tasted them. I had to have one. Ran out, got this guy, super dwarf. It's going to take what, a decade probably to get up to my height, you know. And so we'll have the Julie here.
And what was that one? Star fruit?
This is star fruit, yeah. This is carambola. And so this has been here. I get fruit off this carambola 3 times a year. You know how these things are. I mean, they're amazing. What's new for this guy, and what's also new for this Juda Caba, is that by me getting rid of all this canopy, all these trees that were in here and over there, they were leaning in and the branches were actually touching. This guy hardly got any light at all. And in fact, about 4 months ago, I was worried that I harmed the Juda Caba because he was kind of in shade the whole time I've been living here. So we hit him with some iron. We've been making sure to water it frequently. And now it's healthier than I've ever seen it. And we didn't get a ton of fruit off of it this season, you know, 2 months ago or so. But we got enough. And I'm looking forward to next season already.
Great. All
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Looking
and
good.
so I'm obviously going to leave that in, you know?
Obviously.
Okay, so now, well, first okay, so now this guy here, this is the stump of one of those seedling trees I was telling you about. I tried to top work it and failed. We grafted, but it was already past Christmas time. It was like the 28th of December. I knew it was a little late. We found some iffy budwood. We grafted a bunch onto seedlings. They took, but the ones we grafted onto this to try to top work it to a new variety, the Balliet variety, which I don't think you've tried one of my Balliets yet, but that's, yeah. They didn't take. So I'm going to give it another try, or maybe I'll just yank the stump out because I'll have the wise right there.
Yeah, I would keep it and keep trying no matter how many times, because you want a Balliet on that one. It's
I do. I want a Balliet on
Great
this.
spot.
Yeah. And so, like I say, this is more of a collection area, so I'm not worried about them being close together. You know what I mean? Because I'll actively prune them and stuff. Okay, here's another Paul-inspired choice. You had me try a Kesar, and I loved it. I don't know that everyone loves them the way I do, but for whatever reason, at that Father's Day event, I love that one. Did you also have me try a Bombay?
Yes.
And is that the one that tastes almost like pina colada or something?
Yes, it's amazing.
That was good too.
Yeah, I wouldn't get one though because they don't fruit at all really well.
Okay. All right. Well, in any case, I love the Kesar, and this is the second Kesar that's in this spot. I dug the hole and initially planted a Kesar. It flowered and everything, and then when we were doing our trimming, just all the branches fell on. I had to sacrifice it. I couldn't work in here when I was trying to clear it out. So I just kind of tried, failed, it got squashed. I went out and put a new Kesar in.
Excellent.
So, yeah, so I'm happy about that one. This one here, I'm curious, Paul, you might be able to identify this just by looking, I'll give you a hint, looking at the nice dark green leaves and the super clean fruit.
Well, the fruit's kind of small, but it has to be a Maha Chinook.
You got it. You got it. That's a Maha Chinook. I knew you were going to get that. Yeah. Another variety. What's that?
Have you tasted it?
I tried it at the at the tasting, and then I've had a few more times where I've gone up to see Julian, because sometimes I just go there and hang out. I just like being there, you know, and he had me try some Maha Chinook off of one of his trees. Fell in love, have to have it. And again, if this was out in my commercial side, I'd have clipped this panicle off, but I'm going to let them grow. Plus, these guys are polyembryonic, so I'll be able to plant a few of the seeds, you know.
Just so you know, if you left this here and you had another one right here, with the same amount of fruit, and you took the fruit off one and left it on the other, from my experience of people I've interviewed, that one will come back the following year and the following years, not only outgrow in size, but in fruit-wise. You'll have a lot more fruit on the one you took it off from than that one. So it's not just a size thing, it's a fruit thing.
It makes sense from a like evolutionary perspective or survival of the fittest, because it's like, oh, I didn't make babies last year, I better make them this year. Not that there's intelligence there, but it does make sense.
Well, the trees do have intelligence, but it's just experience. So, we got planes up there. It's just experience that, from my experience, even though this is only your own personal area, I once thought the way you thought, but if it was me now, I would take those off.
Yeah, and I've done that with some. Like the Julie, I didn't let it fruit. Over here, the two coconut creams I'm about to show you, they had fruit.
That's big enough to hold fruit. It just might slow down the production.
It absolutely, I know, and I know it will. You know what I mean? But
it's exciting. It's exciting to get fruit.
It's exciting, but now this one here, which also a Paul-inspired selection from the Father's Day event, coconut cream. And this guy did have fruit on it, and I took them off. And then I loved the coconut cream so much, Paul. It's the only duplicate I have. I got two.
Wow.
I got two. I loved it, you know? And so I put this guy in, been growing like crazy. That guy's a little behind, but actually you could see in the last couple weeks a bunch of new growth. And
coconut cream, you'll get, it starts producing late.
Okay.
But when it starts producing, it makes up for lost time.
Really?
Yeah, so it might take 6 or 7 years before it really takes off.
Yeah.
But when it does, the other ones might take 3 or 4 years before you get stuff.
Yeah.
But once this starts, then it goes crazy.
Yeah, and that's fine by me because this is a collection. It's not a business. It's not on my business side. So I'm my only regret. I wish I did it 10 years ago.
Oh, I understand. I understand.
Yeah. And then this here was a gift. You were with me the day Chemo gave me this tree. So this is a Pim Tsung Moon.
Pim Tsung Moon, yes.
And our friend Chemo, I'm trying to remember, he just recently changed.
I just saw him 10 minutes ago.
He changed the name of his YouTube channel.
I don't remember that.
Gosh dang it. I'll text you. You can put it in the comments.
Yes.
But anyway, Chemo came down and taught me about eating green mangoes. I thought green mangoes were going to have a savory taste, like maybe you pickle them in vinegar or something. I was shocked when he cut open a Pim Tsung Moon green. It's sweet. It's delicious. And so anyway, he made some changes in terms of property and moving his trees around. He had a leftover tree, so he gave this to me the day we were all together up in West Palm. So I got the Pim Tsung Moon, and this guy didn't even have a chance to flower. He's only been in the ground, what, 2 months, right? So, okay, so keeping on moving.
Love it. Love everything you did here.
You could probably see it. I'm stoked about it.
I'm stoked about it. This is great.
And then I have 2 coffee plants I'm going to put over there, see if I can grow some coffee, but they're not in the ground yet. Okay, then this guy here is one of the unnamed Zill varieties. You want to take a guess at this one?
When you say it's a number one?
It's a number one.
This is, I'll take 2 guesses. Either M4 or P22.
015.
015.
Yeah, is it 015 or 019?
015.
015.
Okay.
Yeah. And for
they
those
go big, they go really big.
Yeah, and what I'll do is when this guy starts to go, I'll just kind of more aggressively control this oak tree over here. I'm not going to get rid of it because I love the oak tree, but I'll push it back. And most of your viewers know this, but you know, when I talked earlier about this being a specialty section, this being the mainly Zill varieties, right? A lot of them are Zill varieties. farmers create new varieties of mangoes by growing seeds and seeing if the mango's tasty, does it produce, does it grow well, all that kind of stuff. And when it does, a new variety is born and it needs to be named. But until they're named, they're just categorized by what? Their location in the nursery.
Yes.
Right? So if you're in row O, column 15, that pot is O15 until they give it a name.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
They should have a naming contest. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They run out of names because they got to start using.
Yeah. And then this here has been here, mulberry. I don't know if you want one. I made some mulberry jam the other day. It was delicious.
Yeah, I just had one. It was really nice.
So anyway.
You know, you can graft other varieties onto this mulberry and get multiple.
I want to put them long ones in there.
You can get multiple varieties on it.
But come here, I want to show you one more tree, Paul. And I have that. I showed you a hole over on the other side now. So my next, I got a section a little more west of here. That'll be where I go to next. So the first tree I got for it is the Edward Kent number 14, also known as the Tebow, and also known as the Young, I think, right?
Yes.
I like to refer to it as the Edward Kent number 14 just because it's descriptive of what it is. So there's two varieties of mango, one called Edward, one called Kent. Kent is delicious. It's a workhorse. It's a commercial workhorse. A lot of groves are Kent. People love Kent. It's a great seller. It's a great producer. There's also a fruit called Edward, not so great a producer, but a delicious mango. And so, you know, the holy grail is to have delicious fruit that's also vigorous grower and a high producer. So back in the late 50s, early 60s, they said, let's try to cross-pollinate the Edward with the Kent, and the Edward Kent was born. And this is the Edward Kent number 14 because of however many they pollinated, the 14th one ended up with fruit that tasted like Edward, but produced like Kent. And the reason I don't have it in the ground yet is because I wanted to give it a try to see if it'd flower and fruit this year, because I'm sure you get the same question I do on the YouTube videos, can I grow fruit in a pot?
Sure.
And I wanted to tell people yes. And so, you know, this is in a 25-gallon pot, a pretty significant tree. I suspect it might be a little root bound when I go to put this in the ground, but we'll deal with that when we come to it. But look at Paul, I have some Edward Kent fruit.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, so here's one right here. Yep. And there's a few more up there.
Yeah. And
so I'm going to leave that fruit on there, and then pick and eat it. And that's when this guy's going to go in that other hole over there. And I'm going to cut that decorative tree out that's there and just replace it with this one. And then speaking of root bound, see, here's an example of a root bound tree that I tried to rescue. This was an avocado tree. I put it in the ground. It just wasn't doing nothing, was looking sick. Finally, me and my worker went out. We kind of wiggled it and we pulled it right out of the ground. It did not connect at all. I put it in a pot to try to nurse it back to life, see if I could kind of root prune it a little. Obviously, it's dead. So, anyway. Oh! Guess what this one is? Now, this one, I'm going to grow it in pots for a little while. Timor.
Oh, wow.
Ah, you've tasted it, right?
Yes.
I mean, dude.
I just forgot to get one. I was just there.
I was so happy when Julian told me they were grafting them. Normally, I wouldn't buy a tree this small because I can I could get budwood off them and graft my own. But this Timor variety is so good. Now, like you take like a classic, traditional mango, like a Glen, a Valencia Pride, a Hayden, whatever. I could eat probably 15 pounds in a sitting. Like just stand over my sink and just feed my face. The Timor, I love the flavor and it blows me away, but I find it eventually so strong I can't keep eating them. But they're delicious. And then, of course, Pickering, which is also delicious. So these guys are going to go in that new spot. So come back in a year and I'll be able to show you, a second specialty mango area.
Absolutely. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That was Tom at Sleepy Lizard Avocado Farm. Remember, the link is below. They sell a whole bunch of mangoes, avocados, Monza del Rosa, and a whole bunch of other things at their shop on their website, quarkfarm.com. Links below. Click on there, subscribe, and check out the YouTube channel. I'm going to put a link below to his YouTube channel. Tom has amazing videos. If you're interested in growing tropical fruit, you definitely want to check those videos out. Until then, everybody, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you. If you have trees, or you know somebody growing trees and you'd like me to come on out and feature on the channel, please contact me in the email below in the description. Until then, have a great day and keep growing.